Happy Sunday, everybody. Today we're going to look at Broadway Limited's Paragon 4 SD70Aces. Alright, so let's just jump right into it. These are Paragon 4 SD70Aces by Broadway Limited. These are DCC and come with sound, and to be quite honest, I'm super happy with these things, and this is going to be a really fun review. If you haven't tuned into the Paragon 3 version, I did it quite a while ago at this point. This is essentially a continuation of that review. All the good things I had to say back then are still the good things I have to say now, and along with a couple new things that we'll get into. Let's just go ahead and take a moment to take a look at these things. The Montana Rail Link are the first two that I picked up and have probably the most runtime of the four. All of them have at least 50 hours of continuous runtime on my layout, just to make sure that these are up to the standard that the Paragon 3 Aces have already set. I went over in the review for those that they would have been my standard if it wasn't for the NS engine that I got that was a different version than the two BNSFs that I had, and the slight pricing discrepancy between them and the AC6000. These definitely put the AC6000 on notice, and I'm going to get to that at the end, but boy are these things just awesome engines. We're going to take a look at this one first. The Montana Rail Links that I picked up, I bought new from Train World, and I've got maybe a small issue with them, and I'll have to see if Broadway can verify this for me, so we'll go through that in a moment here when we look at some of the detailing. And the BNSFs I bought as refurb units from Broadway Limited off of their website. I wanted to test whether new or refurb were going to have any performance differences. This thing is absolutely gorgeous, just like the Paragon 3s. I'm sure all the detailing is essentially the same. I really wish that Broadway would do the standard Montana railing paint job. I would love a whole fleet of them. I am a MRL fan. They run semi-local to me, and I love to see them. But let's just... Here is one problem I have kind of with Broadway. I'm not totally sure. They go through the process to paint the steps, but they don't do the handrails. The BNSFs back here I've already done detailing myself, but I still need to do it on the Montana Rail Links. But just like in the Paragon 3, the letter work, stenciling work, all of it's great on this. Nice, sharp, clean lines, excellent detailing. Walkways look great. Fans all look awesome. Grills look great. Excellent door detail on these. I think they did maybe a little bit of mold work between this and the Paragon 3. The doors seem a little more defined. Handrails are nice and thin and strong compared to some other engines. These are sturdy and they're well attached. And yeah, other than a little bit of molded on detailing, for the price point that these things come in at, these are gorgeous engines. The one question I have is both of my new Montana Rail Links did not come with the left side right here for the shade, and I'm not sure. They both are identical that way. To the best of my knowledge, I did some looking. It's not like a special thing that the Montana Rail Links have. I think they just ended up getting shorted somewhere in one of the boxes. And then here is the veteran version. I'll zoom in on this one too. Again, excellent detailing, really nice paint work on this. It is an outstanding looking engine. Just a quick run by. Again, you can see even where the paint's on here relatively thick, we have really good door detail. I know the black makes it hard to see the grill work on these, but it is pretty nice. Really good stenciling on this one. All that looks super nice and crisp. Nice, nice truck to frame depth right there. There's not a whole lot of space in between. Makes for a nice realistic look. And let's go ahead and just pull these out of the way for a moment and take a look at the BNSFs. A little bit easier to see some of the detail on these just because of the color scheme. But yeah, here's a good example of the nice grill work. That all looks super good, and a little bit of paint chipping on these. These again were refurbed from the BNSFs were the refurbs. But yeah, all the detail work, decals look super nice. My cat agrees. Microtrains couplers from the factory. They lock up, they hold good. Awesome. Alright, sorry about that. My cats must have needed dinner or something. Windows look amazing on this. You can even see some of the cab detail. Pretty hard to pick that up on camera. All the fuel tank work looks amazing on these things. They're just gorgeous models. I can't praise Broadway enough. They did an excellent job on these, and I am, as I've stated multiple times, a huge fan of SD70s. They are just the coolest. I love them. So, again, mentioned that these are sound locomotives. I don't notice any different in the sound files, but we will fire them up. They work about the same as the Paragon 3s, to be quite honest with you, but we'll go ahead and just run these up. Full throttle them. I have a different horn profile set up on these. And the BNSFs have the standard. So now that I have some actual working experience with some lock sound engines, I've got, I think, 5 of them on my layout now, and I've been working with them. I have come to appreciate Broadway's sound system even more. I don't have a lock programmer yet, so I've been working on trying to get CVs adjusted inside the remote, and I have to tell you that it's really frustrating and difficult to do. And to Broadway's credit, they really make setting these engines up, getting them running, and having them run in a way that I would consider to be really prototypical is super simple to do. And one thing that I have taken for granted and didn't realize how awesome of a feature it was until I started using some lock sound engines is the throttle hold that lock sound uses makes it really difficult to consist up other engines to those locomotives. I can basically hook up any speed matched engine to these while they're running in the special consist mode that I'll get to in a second, and I can, without changing the throttle step for the actual motor control, increase or decrease the run speed of the engine. So just by pressing 5, I can work up through the speed steps for the engine sounds, and by pressing 6, I can work down towards an idle. That is awesome. The throttle hold thing that lock sound uses is much in a way completely destroyed by this. This is a way better system, and I wish it was industry standard. Broadway's got this figured out, and I really, really appreciate it. Since we're talking about that, we should probably talk about the easy consist mode. From the factory, all of these are immediately speed matched to each other. No speed matching has to be done. You just put them on the layout and you rock and roll. All I did between these two was I adjust the sound value down substantially on these. Compared to some other brands, I'm getting more and more stuff. I think I got a couple, is it Wow Sound, Tsunami, I'm not sure what that is. TCS might be Wow Sound. I got some Tsunami decoders that I'm working with, and I got some Lock Sound ones now. These are far and away louder than any other thing that I've come across. And that's cool for a couple of things. It allows me to set the engine sound to my preference, and then I can have horn, for example, be really loud compared. Again, I've went over this in some other videos. It's really cool when my kid's sitting here watching trains with me. You can kind of honk the horn at them, especially if you can hear that over any of the engine noises. That's pretty cool. Also, don't have to have any of the sounds engaged to hear the horn. Rock on, that's cool. Can also do the same thing with the bell. That's pretty cool too. Coupler noises, I don't believe are, yeah, okay. Something else, we're staying in the easy consist thing for a moment. If you jump into CV19, forward engine can be your, I call it crew number. In the Montana Rail Links case, they're 17, the BNSFs are 15. I set that crew number, add 128 if the engine runs in reverse, rock on. That is now what controls those engines. Everything runs flawlessly. If you jump into your CV230, if the engine is number 1, it's in the first position, 2 is an intermediate engine, and 3 is the rear engine. This really works awesome, especially if you're doing DPU. The first engine obviously is number 1. Any engines behind that would be number 2, and the engine at the back of the train would be number 3. Should you switch direction, all you do is swapping the direction on the throttle. All of the light functions move from engine to engine. If you can't see that, bingo, bingo. Same thing goes back here. Awesome. One little thing I haven't, and hopefully I can start building a working relationship with Broadway at some point. I do have a little bit of a weird oddity that no matter what I do while in CV19 consisted mode, the ditch lights, if they're turned on, stay on both engines, unless it is in position 2. And that must be something to do with DPU. Maybe ditch lights run in dim mode in the rear. I'm not sure how that really works in real life, but just kind of an oddity that I've ran into on the Paragon 4s in particular. I haven't noticed this in the Paragon 3s. One slight potential downside to these, and we'll see if I can kind of just roll this around, and we'll get the Montana Rail Link in scene. But I will quickly see if I can get the lights to come on here. There we go. And we'll hit 7. Super dim. Unfortunately, super dim ditch lights on these. They do come on, but they're just really not bright enough in my opinion. And maybe that's a project I will take on in the future. We'll see if we can get that fixed, but that is the only downside I have found of these, is the ditch lights are just subpar. But they are on there, they do function, and honestly the engines look super nice. These do have the glowing cabs on park. That's a cool little feature. Front engine always has a glowing cab. Properly shuts off on these. I haven't had the issue like I did with a couple of my other GEs that I got from Broadway. Yeah, that's kind of it for the sound and the control function on these things. These, much like all the rest, have excellent slow speed control. They really do, one tie at a time, and just like my Paragon 3s, there is not a turnout you can throw at these things that is going to derail them. They do not hiccup. The increased capacitance, yes, that these have. Broadway claims that they have it built into the decoders is evident. I have put these through their paces on some dirty track, and they definitely will run longer, cleaner, and better than the Paragon 3s that I have. Not that the Paragon 3s don't function properly, because they do, but these things really are workhorses when it comes to dirty track. They are amazing. You would be super surprised at how grungy the track can be and still have these things just rock solid, not a gap in the sound. They are just awesome for that. So we've established that these are set it and forget it engines. Their sound is awesome. They have all of the ease of use things that I love, and these are awesome. I love them to death. So it's time to talk price point, because that is kind of where the make it or break it situation starts to happen. I bought the Montana Rail Links brand new, and they were about $450 shipped to my door. The BNSF sitting behind them are refurbs from Broadway Limited, and I bought them for $180 a piece. So I was $360 for the two of those. Now that's a price point that's going to put the AC6000 possibly off of its king of the hill type situation. For $180 shipped, either one of those BNSFs is probably the best puller on my layout. The Montana Rail Links 2, I just bought them new, so the price point puts them a little bit up there. But I'm seeing a lot of these being put on sale on eBay, as well as some other train sites, for right around $200 to $210 shipped. Rock on, awesome deal, buy it all day for that. But right now, if you're not super worried about road number or road name, there's, I think, an NS still on there, several NS, what do they call those? The special paint job ones, blanking in the moment here, but heritage units, and a couple other, I can't even remember what they were, but there's quite the list of them on there. They must have got some back from dealers for some minor fixes, and that's where I got these, and there's still some sitting on there. $167, about $13 shipping and handling. It's $180. The better run capabilities that these have over the Paragon 3s, especially on dirty track, that's worth that $10, $15 premium, in my humble opinion. And I think these have now officially taken over the spot of king of the hill from those AC6000s. These are probably the best engines I've had my hands on in a long time. And sound, DCC, 100% reliable, run perfectly, easy to use, not a piece of track that I can get it to stumble on. They go through turnouts, they pull freight hard, they look great when they do it. You do have to do a couple of small nitpicky things like paint the handrails, but for $180 for those refurb ones, that's a deal you just can't beat. And that is king of the hill territory. These absolutely have taken the AC6000s off the top, and these are now my go-to. 100% recommend these. They are the best out there right now. Even for the $200 to $210, if you're really wanting a specific type of engine, specific road name, road number, I had to have these Montana Rail Links. I couldn't wait around for them. I just needed some on my layout because that's something that I really enjoy. Even for that price point, you can't go wrong. They're probably the best engines you'll have on your layout. 100% buy these. You're going to love them. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you this Wednesday. I got kind of a cool project planned. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye now.